Hi there. Welcome to this episode of The 11th Man, a PanAfricanist Theory with Ola. This is a two-style podcast dedicated to highlighting African genius, innovation, and native thoughts, essentially the African, in an elegant way. We do this through interview-style episodes where we have conversations with thought leaders shaping Africa's tomorrow today, and being an extension of the host, the 11th Man, his thoughts, his experiences, and perspectives on solo style episodes. I hope you enjoy it. On this episode, I talk about my upbringing, what Nigeria has contributed to me, what Africa is to me through Nigeria, and I also touch on the SARS issue. I want to say the SARS epidemic in Nigeria. I think it will be an episode that you really enjoy. Take a look. If you do like the content, like it, subscribe, share with your friends. So we're going to talk about Nigeria, my country, the gift and the curse. But, there's just so much bad news out there in the world right now. I think that this is one of those cases where they ask you, do you want the good news first or the bad news first? So I will start with the positives. Nigeria, the gift. I think that Nigeria is a gift in the manifestation of the Nigerian, what we call Naija. There's all this conversation in the academic sphere about just the usefulness of school. How much of the things we actually learn in school are truly useful in life. You can graduate with a first class and be the best student. But if you don't have problem solving skills, you don't have resilience, hard work, some of those tenets, then your raw intelligence in some sense can almost be totally useless, right? We've all heard of people who are intelligent but would not get themselves up from the bed in the morning. And unless you take action on life, you're really not doing much at the end of the day. And so, number one of the things that Nigeria gives you is that the environment in Nigeria is really the best school to learn about life. And there, it is really just all practicals. I'll flesh that out a little bit based on my own experience. So, I grew up in a middle class to lower middle class family in Nigeria. We were not poor, thankfully, but we were also not by any means considered rich. We lived in an environment where we had well-to-do neighbors. They were not super rich, but we were all okay. And there were people in that same larger environment that were very, very below the poverty line. And so you didn't see extreme wealth, and you didn't see the extremest of poverty. However, we did see quite significant poverty, quite extensive poverty in the environment. And personally, while I grew up in that environment, I went to school with like fancy kids and things like that. And I say that because that system, personally for me, taught me a lot of things. Number one, it allowed me to have a bias for action. A lot of the energy that I have today came from when I was very young. When we're young, we would go to fetch water in the well, balance the bucket of water on your head, you play with your friends, you break your leg, you get home, your father would just be like, Shebi, you were the one that went to go and play. Who asked you to go and play? So you deal with it. We were taught to have a bias for action. And if you're a person who at any point in time is now at a phase in their lives where they have to do things and they have to stand on their own 2 feet, you would understand why a bias for action is a very important thing. Number two, Nigeria, especially Lagos, and again, I'm speaking from my own perspective and the uniqueness of my own upbringing. Nigeria is also creativity school. You see, today we see there are so many Nigerians that are artistic, Nollywood, Burna Boy, all of these people. There's a lot of artistic content coming out of the country every single day content that wows the world, really. And I think that one of the reasons why we are that way is because it's one of the gifts that the country presents you. My theory is that because Nigeria is a very religious country, when you're growing up in Nigeria, you generally always go to church or the mosque. You end up packing chairs or doing assistant choir master or drumming when the drummer boy is not in church on that day. Regardless of whether you can drum or not, your father will just be like, just go, just go. Is it not your age mates that are doing it? All of those things made us a very artistic people, as it were. And I think that what has happened is because of some of the other challenges that we're going to talk about in the course part of things, people have found that that creative expression of their own uniqueness is something that they can market. And I'm so glad that so many people now are broken off the chains of unemployment and poverty to be able to creatively express themselves and market themselves to the world. That's a gift that Nigeria has given us. Another thing that Nigeria does for you is that it makes you a problem-solving person. Cause, my guy, are there problems in Nigeria? There are so many issues in the country that to survive there, you need to be able to problem solve. Things like negotiation skills, things that you go to learn in Harvard, are things that are naturally imbued in us in Nigeria. Take, for example, Igbo people. Igbo people are considered like the business savvy people in Nigeria. And a lot of them some of them don't go for formal education. They go for artisanal apprenticeship. So they learn from business people how to do business. And these guys apply Harvard skills without going to Harvard. That problem solving, that bias for action thing, mixed with creativity, those are three things that Nigeria gives you. Another thing that Nigeria gives you is negotiation skills. When you're growing up in Nigeria, you have to know how to negotiate now. Because you will negotiate with the bus driver. You negotiate with your teacher when he wants to flog you. Be like, auntie, please don't beat me here. You know how to do some of those things. And while you're growing up, you might think that these things are just normal things you do. But as you grow up and start to need to take action on life, you realize just how important some of these things are. In all of that, to top it up, Nigeria gives you what I consider fire. The more I have traveled and the more I've met Nigerians in the diaspora, the more I've realized that we really are different from a lot of other people, just by default. There's a certain fire that we carry. There's a raw energy, what I call the Naija spirit, that Nigeria gives you. It gives you that spirit with this unquenching belief in yourself and just hope in the fact that you can make things happen. And so you hear people from Nigeria being like, do you know where I'm from? It's that fire inside of them that just burns with so much confidence, and again, that comes from Nigeria. We're so many people in Nigeria, so many people who speak up, who take action, who do all these things, who are creative. So apart from you having all these innate abilities, you need to be able to push yourself to the front. And so you find that Nigerians can be very loud because 200 million people. I'll give you an example. When we were kids, we would go to these parties, and at the parties they would give packs of food or gifts. If you did not speak up as a kid, you would go home empty-handed. And the more you go home empty-handed, party after party, the more your parents will be like, it's like this one does not have future. Because every day, he cannot speak for himself, he cannot grab one. So, Nigerians will be able to relate to this. When we were younger, we used to be like, auntie me, auntie me. Auntie me, you're pushing out other kids and just putting yourself in front. And so, that Nigerian fire, it's so complex to describe. But it's one of those things that you get as a Nigerian. Other characteristics that you develop being Nigerian, and of course this is not exhaustive. These are just some of the ones that came top of mind as I was preparing for this. You learn to stay with the grind. You learn to work hard, and you learn to be resilient. Nigerians generally have this never say die attitude. It's like until we die, we are still there. As a Nigerian, you have ambition because making it in life is like the goal of Nigerians. You know, there are some people that their own is to just live a quiet, peaceful, just chill life. Generally, of course, there are Nigerians that desire that type of thing. But overall, if you sample Nigerians, Nigerians want to make it big. They want to blow. Ambition is a big thing that Nigeria also gives you. Another thing Nigeria gives you is humor and just above average social skills. I'm sure if you know Nigerians, the average Nigerian is funny. Even the Nigerian that is not funny in Nigeria, when they travel, they turn out to be like these comedians. Because the way that we are, our gesticulation, all of that, just makes for mind-blowing humor for most foreigners. And for even Nigerians, right? And that also predisposes us to these really great social skills where plenty people you generally learn to relate. When I was living in Nigeria, I was considered like a quiet person. But nobody really considers me quiet outside of Nigeria because I'm already quite gregarious with so much energy. When I go back to Nigeria, I go and learn. I'm just like, look at this guy, look at this person. All of that make for charisma, a lot of charisma. You see, I took a course one time where they were teaching us about presentation skills. And I realized that a lot of the things they were talking about, gesticulating, enunciating, having non-verbals down pat, all of that stuff, are things that we have by default in Nigeria. You see, in Nigeria, when you're speaking pidgin, you go know, say, as you they talk, you go they punch your lines, you go they put out one after the other. You get? When you're saying something, you be like, oh boy, that guy. All of these things are things that are natural to us and that just go without saying. But these are things some people pay for in school to learn. The average Nigerian, again, because of like church and some of the other things that we do, you know how to do one or two steps. Even if you are not the greatest dancer in Nigeria and they're like, you stay for back when people are dancing. When you're out there in the world, in the rest of the world, especially outside of West Africa as it were, you realize that you're not that bad at all compared to other people. And why are we even talking about dancing? I like to dance. And I think that dancing is one of the greater expressions of self in life. And so I always consider it a gift that Nigeria has given me. As a matter of fact, some of these gifts are so in our blood. And to use the dancing example, whenever a new dance comes out in Nigeria and I watch it, I'm like, what are these people doing? How are they doing this? And initially I'm like, I would never learn this dance. But because it's in my blood, while I might not pick it as quickly as I would pick it if I were in Nigeria and was seeing people dancing it in church, on the streets, things like that, eventually I just pick it up, as like see, this thing is inside me, the seed is inside me, I just need to manifest it type of thing. Another thing that Nigeria gives you is this ability to have fun. Nigerians can have fun. Chopping life, that's what we call it in Nigeria. And so while we work hard and we do all these things and we hustle and we're like, where they go, how will they put them together, we also know how to chill back and have real fun. And again, like I said before, some of these things might be, they go without saying, they're just basic things. But you realize that those are the real life skills. Those are the real things that you bring to bear against the vicissitudes of life, against the challenges of life, the resilience to keep going, the hard work to keep going, the courage to speak up, to stand in front and not be afraid of the crowd. All of that are gifts that Nigeria gave. And so, overall, I really believe that Nigerians will end up running the world. Our insane dynamism is already finding foot in many sectors, especially creativity leaning industries. And that's without any form of real infrastructure or institutions to support people doing these things. Right now, Nigerians are self-mined and self-refined gold. And then they are also self-marketed gold. Imagine if we had structure. And so in summary, Nigeria has been the biggest school I've attended. I took many classes, many hard classes. And of course I've picked up things from other cultures. I've learned to be a little calmer from some of my Rwandese friends. But overall, the bulk of the tool set that I dip into to deal with life's assaults were built in me in Nigeria. That's the factory where I was formed. If reincarnation is a real thing, I would definitely love to come back as a Nigerian, all things being equal. So, all that goody stuff, let's talk about Nigeria, the curse. The first thing about the curse in Nigeria is corruption. Corruption is rife in almost every public system in Nigeria. But apart from the public systems, even the private systems. This has led to real issues with infrastructure, just basic things that we should have. Up NEPA is a big thing in Nigeria. When power goes, you just hear people be like, down NEPA. You have to iron your clothes days before you need to wear them. Otherwise, you wear rumpled shirts to your work meetings. All of these have caused stressful living in Nigeria. The manholes on some of Nigeria's highways are enough to make your car tumble 5 times. The unnecessary deaths that are caused as a result of lack of infrastructure in hospitals, in public institutions is mind-blowing. All of these has led to under potential or underutilization of the potential of the Nigerian. And so you find that Nigerians in the diaspora are always been like, yo, you guys are great people and all of that. And Nigerians in Nigeria are like, yeah, we know, but it's easy for you to say when you're outside because you have all these things. And the reality is that the underutilization of the potential of Nigeria, the natural resources we have, the human resources that we have, does not make sense when you consider just how many great people are in Nigeria. I worked in GT Bank, and the people who ran that bank when I was there, they had their weaknesses and things like that. But if those people ran a country, my guy, with the resources that Nigeria has, it would be amazing. But those people never make it to power because, again, corruption. There seems to be a consensus that Nigerians are great. All these things I've said, it's almost like, you guys are always talking yourselves up. But I was looking on IG the other day, and Genevieve had an open letter to the president. And one line stood out to me. She said she's always sad, or she's always saddened by the fact that Nigeria seems to be an incubator for greatness, but not the habitat for greatness. And so everything I've talked about right now is the incubation of greatness within you as a Nigerian. But the external factors in Nigeria don't make for the flourishing of that greatness. And on Independence Day in Nigeria, one of my friends put up a post about how Nigeria is like the great kid that is a genius, but his genius never really brings any fruit. Again, yesterday I was looking on IG, and one guy commented about how if Nigeria was run properly, we would be better than all these Dubai, all these places, because we have all the resources in Nigeria. And I can go on and on about the problems in Nigeria, but you can find all of these on the internet, so I won't dwell on it too much. But this is why you find that Nigerians always want to leave Nigeria by any means, because they believe that they have this capacity within them that is just being killed by this place, and that only if they just get to the other side. Now, there are conversations around whether or not that's true, or whether the grass is truly greener on the other side. But from an infrastructure perspective, the gap is not insane. It is ridiculously insane. And so we will talk about SARS. There's been all these conversations about SARS on social media, and for some of you people that might not know what SARS is, I'll just talk about it a little bit and the implications of that vis-a-vis the things that I've talked about. SARS was set up as an anti-robbery squad to fight thieves, and the idea was that they would wear mufti or they would not wear uniform to add that element of surprise. However, that surprise has made for surprise for the citizens. The SARS team is an anti-robbery squad that robs. And some of the things they do, they have really high degrees of profiling. There was a time when I was in the US, because it was so expensive to cut hair. In Nigeria, you cut hair for 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, about $3 or maybe $5 maximum. But then in America, you cut hair for $35. I was like, this $35, if I save it, I can become a rich guy, you know? So, just as a result of thriftiness, I guess is the word, I ended up keeping my hair and I had an afro. Over time, I just decided to make it into like twists and some type of dreadlocks. When I was going back to Nigeria, I was warned by people that with these dreadlocks in Nigeria, I might end up being killed. Just because you're profiled by these people. You wear headphones, AirPods, or some wireless fancy earphones, and you're considered a Yahoo boy. May God save you that you had one contract that you did and you got paid in US dollars and they see the alert on your phone. That means you are the one that robbed Obama of all his presidential wealth. You know, ridiculous things. So much so that just the fact that you are dressed like a normal person, you're considered someone who must have committed some crimes. And so these people will threaten you, they would blackmail you, they would beat you up because they believe that they are above the law, they have guns, and there's nothing you would do. As a matter of fact, they will tell you that, see, if you don't cooperate, we will carry you. We will rope crimes on you. And you will be in jail before your family members know that you are anywhere. And God save you if they put you in the same cell as Roger. You know Roger? Roger that will be the class captain of the cell, beats your life up, and you'll just be like, why? And that's why you find that I've had conversations with Nigerians who live abroad who don't ever want to go back to Nigeria. And I'm like, wait, it's your home. You should at least have plans or be willing to. But there are people that have seen really bad things in Nigeria that they're just like, that place, I'm totally done with it. And so, as part of the things I said when I was talking about Nigeria, the gift, I talked about how Nigeria imbues in you this courageousness and hope. But you see, that courageousness then stands against hope on one front. Now, the apathy that Nigerians generally have towards the corruption in the government is because they're like, my option one is that this country makes sense and I'm able to do things in this country. But then they believe that there are option twos out there. And so the average Nigerian is just like, these fools, if they don't do well, I will keep working to find another way out so that I can blow. That hope limits our courageousness with coming out and standing against the government, because we are like, these guys will probably just kill you. So better leave and find a way to option two than let these people kill you. Nigerians generally don't like to end it because once you die, that's it. And that's my theory for why this SARS thing took off. A lot of Nigerians have been surprised that Nigerians have actually come out to stand against this, considering the fact that there have been so many things by way of corruption in Nigeria that deserve people coming out and just, protesting en masse. The corruption in Nigeria is more than enough to have sparked the biggest protests. This is different. This is threatening that hope in themselves, that belief in themselves. This is threatening to end it all. And that's my theory for why Nigerians have come out en masse to fight this. And so I'm going to read a bunch of things from my notes directly. I think that when the insecurity in your land comes not from stereotypical criminals, but from law enforcement officials, then your cries should really get to the high heavens. It is taking a while to organize ourselves and put our fears behind us, but I'm glad my people are taking a stand on this. To zoom out a little bit more, this is a reflection of larger systemic issues. In Nigeria, justice is not guaranteed and is really up for sale to the highest bidder. I hope that the momentum here isn't lost. But even if it is, I hope that we get this one thing done. The apathy of the government on this issue is astounding, considering that they have failed the people in every single way. But the current cry of the people is not even that you should be accountable concerning their resources and their futures, but that you should not take their lives away from them. A government that thinks it is fine to keep quiet about such things is truly a tyrannical government and should not deceive itself that it is officiating anything at all. And so, I'd like to end this episode with 2 words. End SARS. Thank you.